Hello, I'm Bruce Fitness, Master Trainer for the National Academy of Sports Medicine. I want to make this video just demonstrate some core exercises. That's exercises for your core. If you're involved in some intermediate or advanced strength and conditioning exercises, you typically do not need to separate and do exercises strictly for your core. But if you're suffering from lower back pain or some hip or even knee issues, then it is good to actually focus on strengthening your core to try to address some of those issues. Many of the issues can be relieved, if not even eliminated, by strengthening the core 360 degrees all the way around, as well as your gluteus maximus. Getting those areas stronger is going to improve your back health, your knee health, and your hips. So what I want to do is show just a series of exercises to try to get that core. First of all, you need to start learning and practicing bracing. And bracing is when you actually inflate and pressurize 360 degrees all the way around your core. It's not just squeezing your stomach or pushing out. It is just squeezing and pressurizing so you feel it all the way around your core. Anytime you do any kind of core exercises that I'm showing or any lower body types of lifts, you need to make sure you brace. Breathe, brace, and then do the movement. So try to practice that and keep that a mental process. Breathe, brace, and then do the movement. The first core exercise I want to show is simply planks. I'm going to show a series of regressions and then also the full plank. So the lower plank is going to be on your elbows. And you just put your elbows with your hands parallel with each other. And if you want, start out with your hips flexed and your knees on the ground. Your head needs to be level with your shoulders in a very neutral position, hands straight out, parallel, and just start holding that. If that is simple and you can progress, try to flatten out just a little bit. You're trying to hold around 30 seconds, and your goal is to continue to progress more time, 45 seconds, 60 seconds, breathing naturally the whole time and focusing on your position, your bracing, and your form. And then as you feel strong enough, come up on your toes. You do not want to sag, and you don't want to go up too high. If you have to go up too high, let's go ahead and go back to our knees and try to flatten out a little bit and keep the bracing and our core tight during the entire time. So we'll come up, hold 30 seconds, get to where you can do 45 seconds, and really sky's the limit. Once you feel like you got this down, you can do 3, 4, 5 minutes. It's all good. Now I want to do side planks. Again, a regression to side plank is just staying on your side. And just get where you can actually keep a very neutral spine. Head is neutral with your shoulders on your side. This is going to work your core. Remember, brace, pressurize, tighten, 360, neutral. So you're not sagging, but neutral. When you feel like you're ready to progress from there, put your top foot down, straighten your lower leg, and bring your hips off the ground. Again, your head and your shoulders in a neutral aligned position, your elbow directly underneath your shoulder, and just hold yourself up. 30, 45 seconds, a minute, whatever you can do. Now, when you get to a minute, I'd go ahead and suggest you do a full side plank. And that is you take both legs straight, bring yourself up, again, neutral, straight spine, head neutral with the shoulders directly out. 30, 45 seconds, minute. Sky's the limit once you start feeling good about it. Flip over, do the same, do both sides. Don't expect both sides to be equally strong. Very typical, if it's the first time coming into this, you'll have one side that seems to be weaker than the other. Just work them both. I would recommend working the weak side first. And if you can only do 15 seconds or you have to do one regression, particularly on that weak side, go ahead and keep that same number of seconds in that regression on the other side as well until that weak side strengthens itself up and you feel like you're even on both sides, and then start pushing it up from there, progressing to a full side plank. The next exercise It'd be on your back, and it's a bridge. So again, a regression, go on your back, and let's start out with one leg bridges. And one leg bridge regression is just going to keep the other leg flat on the ground and lift yourself up. Try to keep your head neutral with your shoulders. As best you can, align your thigh with your torso, squeezing the glutes. You're bracing, and that bracing keeps the pelvis in a good neutral position so that it's not tilting forward, which is going to cause lower back pain. If you feel lower back pain, it's because your hips are tilting up. You want to brace, keeps the hips back where they're supposed to be. Again, 30, 45 seconds. If you can get up to a minute, then I'll go ahead and progress this where you raise your leg up, your opposite leg, raise it up, come up, flat, everything's in a neutral position, bracing, feeling no lower back pain. And when you progress up from there, go ahead and raise the leg up a little higher. 30 seconds, progress to 45 seconds. The sky's the limit. Then change over to the other leg. Again, if you're just starting out, very likely one side will be stronger than the other. Start with the weaker side. Let it guide your progression for the other side until you balance out. And then you'll be able to progress up from there. These things can be, once you've progressed and you're feeling strong, these things can be taken as long as you want. 1 minute, 2 minutes. It'll be one of those things that you start challenging yourself to do. If you have the time to do it, you're going to enjoy doing it because you're going to own it. You're going to master it. It is going to definitely help lower back pain, hip placement, and even knees, because when your back and your hips are not functioning correctly, your knees are not functioning correctly either in the way you walk, the way you squat, and if you run, the way you run. So continue doing that. If you have any questions, just find me on Facebook under Bruce Fitness and like me and message me anytime.